Hello everyone, here's just a quick video. I say quick, it'd probably take me like 8 minutes or so to explain everything, but well, basically someone on YouTube asked me on my Echo Night videos of how I was running the game, and of course, after a bit of discussion, I decided to make one of these videos, just to help other people in the future, because no doubt I may get asked this a lot, since I think I'm one of the few people to actually use an emulator for the game. But anyway, yes, I do use the emulator, the PC SX2 1.0.0 is a PS2 emulator, obviously. You can get it over here. This is the home page. I will put the link in the description, even though it's a very small link that everyone could probably type, but then again, I don't know how this is going to come out on Fraps in desktop mode, so I'll put it in the description. And as you can see here, if we look on the compatibility page, which you can easily get to by just clicking the compatibility button there, and you go into you do see Echo Night here. It is only in-game according to this, but this is the American version, and it was on an old version done in 2009. So I don't really trust it much, considering I have the PAL version right in front of me. I do use the actual disc to play the game, and to me it works completely fine with the settings I have, which explains why I'm doing this video. Of course, for using the PS2 emulator, you do need a very good computer, which you can find in the Getting Started section. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it does tell you the system requirements. It's pretty pointless to actually even attempt it, in my opinion, to run the PS2 emulator if you had only got the minimum standard, like if you, I don't know, only had one of these CPUs, the Pentium 4, that's a flipping old one, god. But yeah, if you have basically 512 megabyte RAM, good luck people trying to run this emulator. I would definitely recommend it. Of course, I'm not saying don't try the minimum. If you want to try it, go ahead. But really, as it says here, most games will be unplayable. I don't know how my settings will work on other games. I've only tested it for Echo Night, and it runs pretty much smoothly, apart from the light issue that people have seen in my Let's Play if they watch it, which I may sort of manage to speed up a bit now, somehow. I don't know how it worked, but anyway, that's recommended. And of course, even if you do have the recommended settings, it may still not run properly. Just pointing it out. But anyway, there's a guide here. If you just click guide there, of course you can find other languages other than English if you don't speak English or prefer another language, so on. But anyway, for the most part, I've basically used this guide. So this is also will be in the description, even though you can find it on the same site in one button click as well. But basically, I just for the most part use this description. So my settings will basically be this. But anyway, let's open the emulator up. And we shall go here. I'll start slowly looking through my options, just so people can compare if they don't have time to read all that. Anyway, for my GS, which is the graphics, I run the GSDX 5334 MSVC 16.00 AVX, which I believe is for software. There are different ones you can use for like SSE4, SSE2 and all that. I'm not sure which one actually does which. My memory is a bit bad, but it does explain it in this guide. I'm wiggling my mouse around like you're going to be seeing the mouse, but I don't think I actually have that option ticked. Like, yeah, hide mouse cursor, there we go. Not that that would probably actually work during recording. Probably doesn't, I actually don't know. But anyway, let's look at the configuration. Of course, having a GeForce GTX 560. I can run this in DirectX 3D11. Of course, I'm doing it on software mode, which is basically the standard looking PS2 looking game, but with shadow support and everything. So basically, it helps if you have any graphical glitches. If you're using hardware mode, whether it's 11 or 9. Surprisingly, 10's not in this list. But okay, that's probably because I got 11. But anyway, if you're running hardware mode, basically it makes the game look super beautiful, pretty, goddamn gorgeousness. But for certain games, like in Echo Night, it will remove pretty much every single furniture and door in the flipping game. I don't know why. You just see a complete invisible walls. That's basically all you see in hardware mode. But also for other games, like the only other one I know that actually does show issues is Resident Evil 4. At one point where you have to use an infrared scope, it doesn't actually show the screen. It just shows complete red, I think it is, or green. I don't know. It just shows the color of a screen, and you basically can't use that scope on the sniper rifle. But if you turn it to software mode, it basically works beautifully. Well, no, not really. Software mode basically will fix all those issues. Why? But on the downside, it would not make the game look as pretty as your computer could probably run it. So basically, it looked like a standard PS2 game. So for example, if I had it in hardware mode, Resident Evil 4 would look like the complete gorgeous PS3 kind of title. Nope, it probably won't actually look like that. That's me just overwriting. Overwriting? What the hell's overwriting? I don't know. That's just me basically saying, overreacting on how beautiful it may look. Note that Resident Evil 4 on the PS2 looks complete ugly shit. Just pointing it out. Of course, many people may argue that. But anyway, since I run this on software mode, I don't have the options of changing all this stuff, so it wouldn't on the PS2 native resolution, whichever that is. Apparently it may be 1024, I guess. I'm probably horribly wrong. I'm sure someone can actually tell me. For installation, I have it on auto. I'm not actually sure why I do it. The guide basically will explain everything. I don't have enable shade boost on. I don't have this edge anti-aliasing AA1 on, because apparently it makes the game run a bit more slower and not much change. And extra rendering threads I have to 3, which is basically how many cores you have for your processor. For those not speaking computer sense, they will have no idea what I just said. But again, this guide will explain everything. Just basically follow this guide and you should be good. Of course, if you don't know that your computer can run the emulator or not, there is a guide somewhere on here. Yeah, here. It says in the getting started section that it may work, but it's slow. Well, there is a thread where you can post those stats, your specs, to people, and they will tell you if it runs good or not. There are different software you can download to find out what the specs of your computer are if you do not know. I'm not sure what they are at the top of my head, but I'll try and link them in the description for those that don't know anything about computers at all. Well, anyway, that's pretty much the graphics. Anyway, pad is basically your controller, or in other sense, it's the keyboard if you don't have a controller plugged into your PC. I used the LilyPad SVN stuff. In fact, I shall fully read this title in case people can't read the writing. So the LilyPad SVN R5282 0.11.0 LilyPad R5350. Now here's this I basically leave at default. So I've not touched anything on this screen, so I assume all that would be default. But what I did change is go to D-pad 1. Well, D-pad 1? No, pad 1, and basically made it so it supports my controller, which basically all these options are. Like pressing up on my controller will make the D-pad go up and all that stuff. Pretty standard. Now another one people may have to change is the SPU2, which is the sound. I used the SPU2 XR5324 2.0.0 SPU2 XR5350 stuff. Now I have it on as the guide here. As I said, I'm definitely on the guide. I pretty much left this on default, I think, where it does the recommendation, which is Hermite, which I think does the standard goodness. It says here somewhere. This is the recommended closest to what the PS2 would produce, yeah. So basically, if you select that option, it basically plays all the sounds the PS2 would play. For the module, I have the X Audio 2, which is also recommended, which will make it sound beautiful. Volume, normally put it down a bit depending on the game, but I need to reconfigure that again. So that's pretty much normal. Everything else is, I think, is the default setting. Time stretch, I can't remember what it does, but I have it on time stretch. But anyway, this is in case for anyone wondering. And also CDVD. God damn it, Val. I have it on the CDVD Gigas. R44880.8.0. This basically so I can put the disc in and it runs from the disc. That basically all that does. You can do it so it runs ISO files, but for again, I will not say anything about ISOs. I mean, I do use them from time to time, but of course I do own the actual game. But that's all I'm going to say on that. USBs, I basically don't even mess with these other 3 options. I never touched them. BIOS, that's not something I can really talk about because of, what's the word, copyright and all that. Is it no, not copyright. I don't know. So yeah, I'm not going to touch BIOS. Folders, that's pretty standard. So that's all that stuff. Now there are some more. Video, audio and all that, controller and all that I explained. So let's go to the emulation settings, which will be the other thing this guide also talks about. I have the Emotion Engine on Recompiler, IOP on Recompiler. I don't know what these actually do off the top of my head. Apparently they make the game speed up and all that or stuff. There's something to do with speed anyway. The Advanced Recompiler options, I have it on Chop 0, and clamping option mode, I have it on normal. I'm not sure if this is actually the defaults, but that's how I set it. Views are sort of the same. View 0 and 1, I have it on the micro view recompiler. Ah, wonderful, it actually tells you what it does. Basically, it makes it compatible. Yeah, there we go. Apps, complicated talk that I don't really want to mention. But basically, it's sort of the same as EIOP, they're basically the same settings. Almost-ish. GS, that's basically graphics, so basically you can do the frame limiting and all that stuff. I have it off, but I leave all this to the default standard, which is 100 for the normal frame rate, 50 for slow motion because that's the PAL setting in Europe. So yeah, us Europeans had to deal with 50 while the Americans got 60. Turbo will make it 200, which does not speed it up as this guide says, I believe. Frame skipping I have disabled, that's pretty much all I need to say there. Now here, I made it so it starts up in windowed mode. My aspect ratio is widescreen 16:9. The custom window size is 1280 times 720, so it doesn't look super big when it first starts up. Zoom is 100. Always hide the mouse cursor, blah blah blah. So basically, I can get to full screen by double clicking it all out and enter. Which my full screen will be 1920 is it? Or 1980? I don't remember. And 1080. Speed hacks, I enable speed hacks, but I put it all on the most bottom least setting possible. And I have enable INTC spin detector on, which is a huge speed up for some games with almost no compatibility side effects. And I have the enable wait loop detection, moderate speed up for some games with no known side effects. Micro VU hacks, I have MVU flag hacked it, good speed up and high compatibility may cause bad graphics. But I don't really notice anything bad, so I have that off. And I don't have any fixes on. But anyway, that's all the settings. And just to prove, I would actually go click on boot C DVD full to actually load the intro and everything. But since I haven't put the disc in yet, that's quite bad of me. Let's move my controller way out the way, put the disc in. Let's just show everyone it does work and I'm not just making all this up and pretending to be clever. Oh yeah, also for C DVD I have it on plug-in. I believe that's so the disc thing loads. Thank you, yes or no, that. Don't think there's anything else to talk about. I'm not sure how much this is gonna work. As in, I'm not sure how well this will run, considering I'm using a different frame setting for this. But anyway, this should make it work. We had the PS2 intro. The game should load up. I'm normally playing 50 Hz because after all it's the power setting. But as you see here, the game works. And that's the end of my emulation. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope this helps everyone. Again, all this stuff will be in the description if you do need the links and all that. But it's a beautiful game. Everyone should actually try and play this at least once if you like horror games. But anyway, I've babbled on enough. Goodbye everyone, bye bye.